Pirate Broadcast, where we interview interesting people doing interesting things, where you can expand your connections, your community. Kindness is cool and smiles are free. And let's get this party started. Hey, we're here for another Pirate Broadcast, bringing you interesting people doing interesting things. I have another unique individual here. We're going to have fun today. We're just going to jam out and talk about different things and maybe some mental things as well. So I'm kind of interested in presenting this, but Steven, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. I'm delighted to be here, Russ. As I said, I've never met a pirate before, so this is an exciting moment for me here in Ireland as well. I'm delighted to be here.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and showing up and being here and helping us out and providing some insight and inspiration for a few people.
Well, I'm absolutely delighted to be here.
You have several kind of unique combinations of gifts. And for those that may not necessarily know you or they haven't yet connected with you, and I encourage all the pirates to connect with you guys and connect with Steven and make sure that you're saying, hey, I'm a pirate, love to connect. And so talk a little bit about what your focus is primarily, and then we're going to talk about the new thing coming up later. Okay.
Fun thing. Sure. So, so my company is, well, not mine, but myself and my business partner, Robert Ricky's company is Marketplace Superheroes. So we teach people all over the world how to sell their own branded products on Amazon. We still do it ourselves. We have a number of different business partners in that space that we invest in actively. So we have a little bit over 8,000 students all over the world, about 65% of those in North America. Rest of them people from just all over the world, Europe, Asia, etc. We also have a freight company, Superhero Freight, where we actually ship our members' products from China to our warehouses all over the world. We're in the US, in Houston there. We're up in Canada, in Calgary, Australia, and Brisbane, and we're in Northern Ireland as well. It's in a place called Ballyclare. So we have warehouses all over the place. We're going to ship about 8 million items this year. Well, not different items, but 8 million units of products this year from China to various Amazon markets around the world. And so our community does about 200 million in global revenue yearly at the moment. That's our estimations. Probably more than that, but that's what we estimate based on the amount of stuff that we ship. I suppose we're very different in the Amazon space because we actually run all the services, the freight services and things like that most of their kind of courses don't do. And so we really try to partner with our students long-term, work with them for, as many years as we can, provide them the services they need that are really cost effective compared to other people, and they're not niche down services. And so we build this really cool partnership. And we've been doing this now. I've been selling on Amazon for 11 years now. My business partner, Robert, a lot longer than that. And that's what we do all day long. That's our main focus. That's what I'm known for. And that's what brings me here today.
You're the Amazon guy. So now that I have a contact, so you and Jeff got speed dial going on?
Oh yeah, no, Jeff calls me for advice every day, and I give him advice. He often takes it, and that's why he's so successful. So I'm glad to help Jeff out a little bit.
That's awesome. Now, for a lot of people that may not understand the Amazon model, it's not exactly one size fits all.
Yes,
there's
correct.
A lot of different things. So walk us through some of the scenarios that you deal with your clients, because there's drop ship, there's there's distribution pieces, there's a lot of different models. So kind of walk us through some of the big segments that we can understand and appreciate. Sure.
No problem. Yeah, so the first thing to say, you're 100% correct. There's different ways to sell on Amazon. So there's, I would say, the 4 primary ways to sell would be: number 1, private label selling, where you sell your own branded items on Amazon. That's what we do at Marketplace Superheroes, which I'll talk about. Then there's other models. The second one would be retail arbitrage, where you could go to a local store or yeah, I suppose, yeah, a local store physically. You find products that you can scan, check what the price is on Amazon. If you feel like you can make money by buying it from the store secondhand, potentially, and selling it on Amazon at a profit, that's retail arbitrage. People get started in that way. Difficult to scale for obvious reasons. You got to try to find more products. So it's something that's kind of like people want to dip their toe in the water, get into, but they always end up saying, I can't scale this. It's not something, I have to keep finding more deals all the time.
Sure.
You've online arbitrage, which is basically the same thing, but online. Find a website that has stuff. You can buy it inexpensively, sell it on Amazon at a profit. And then finally, you have wholesale, whereby you go to a wholesaler, you can buy items in bulk that are already known brands, and you can then sell them on Amazon. Now, one of the important things that ties a lot of these together then is what's called FBA. And people actually call this Amazon FBA, which really doesn't make any sense because it's just Amazon. But FBA is fulfillment by Amazon, which is the process whereby you send some stock to Amazon. They hold it in their warehouses in various countries, depending on where you sell. And then as you sell your products, Amazon ship it out on your behalf. And that will work for the private label, retail arbitrage, online arbitrage, wholesale. All those models you usually utilize that because you convert more, you make more money, and all of that jazz. And it's just easier because you're not doing the day-to-day shipping. Amazon are doing that on your behalf. They're doing all the customer support. So we chose to focus on private label selling. Have done for bulk of my career so far.
So you're actually shipping the material out, the goods and services, or the goods.
Yeah, so I'll walk through that. Yeah, so because there's a few steps to that as well. That's for sure. So at a very base level, we are going to Amazon. We're treating it like a stock market. We're identifying what products are out there that are already selling, but the competition in that market is kind of low, and the quality items isn't great. And we feel like we can come in there. We can offer a better product with better bonuses and different things like that. We then put our own brand on that product, our own barcode on that product. It's completely owned by us. And we then get that manufactured in China. Some people are in domestic US, but most of our clients will go to China. You get a couple of hundred units produced, depending on what you're buying. And then from there, we actually ship our members' products from China to our various warehouses around the world. And that's really why it's a big value we offer our clients. We make it a lot easier because if we didn't ship the stuff and make it easy for our members to ship stuff, then we'd have to start talking about, you have to find a freight forwarder, then you have to connect them with a supplier, then you have to go here and there. And we used to have to do that for many years when we didn't have the freight company. But that's what we put a couple of $1 million of our own money into that logistical network. And that's been a huge, I suppose, differentiator for us. It makes us really legit compared to I think there's a lot of programs out there that are all right. There's a lot of ones that are just nonsense to tell you you're going to be rich overnight and all the rest, where it takes time to build this business, especially when you're private labeling, you're doing your own thing. It takes time to establish your own brand new listing on Amazon. And I suppose one of the key factors as well, for anybody who maybe is interested in this in the past or whatever, is Amazon made some changes over the last couple of years, which we predicted. Yeah. And one of those big changes has been you can't just send in, 2,000 units of whatever you're selling into Amazon. You just can't do it anymore because they don't want all the stock taking up room in their warehouses. I know how they feel that way because we've got warehouses full of stock. But anyway, they don't want that. So they brought in this thing called an inventory performance index. And that goes for anything you're selling on there. And just really means that they're going to limit the amount of stock you can send in. And the reason I tell you that, even if you're just starting out or remotely interested in this, is that if you don't have a pre-Amazon location, you're going to have difficulty because you can't send in all your units to Amazon like you used to be able to. So that's another reason why our freight company has become so important for all of our members. And I suppose it's good because we get to partner with people for the long term. But at a base level, that's private label. We manufacture something, we import it, we get it into Amazon, we start selling it. And then with our model, we take that same item and we sell it in multiple Amazon countries all over the world at the same time.
So if I were to think about a product that I want to create, say, for instance, I have I want a unique stand for my uses.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking for someone to manufacture it. I mean, I would think that you would want to do a mock-up and then maybe have some manufacturers around the world take a look at it and say, yes, I can do this.
Yeah.
This is what I would do. Is that an area that you also help and assist people in?
Not really, to be honest, but it's the same process really with some adjustments. What you're talking about there is more of a custom situation where maybe you have an audience, let's just say, and you know that if I launch this thing to my audience, I can sell it, right? So that's fantastic and it's incredibly valid. And yeah, as you say, you would have to go to a Chinese manufacturer, let's say on Alibaba, we use Alibaba to find suppliers.
I'm familiar with Alibaba.
Yep. So then you would go there, you'd find a manufacturer who produces something similar to what you want to produce, and then you would send them a mock-up, like you just mentioned. You get a prototype done. But you see, the trouble with that model, and well, we don't go down that model with our members. I suppose number one, you have to adjust the inner workings of a factory. So there's a cost obviously associated with that, and therefore you'd have to produce a significant quantity of those in order to make it viable for the factory to want to do it. I suppose with ourselves, we are producing things that they're already producing for other companies.
You're already identifying pieces of materials and things that are already produced then.
Yeah, we're saying, we see, don't sell these, but we see these plastic shoe boxes are fantastic. We should sell those. Let's go find plastic shoebox manufacturers, and then we speak to them. And we're like, we want to do this type of plastic shoebox that you produce. We want to do it in this color, and also we want to put this branding on it, and we want to put these little bonuses in with that. And they're like, okay, cool, Russ, you need to do 500 of those. No problem, we'll do 500, and then we manufacture them. Obviously, as well, like people will say, well, private label selling sounds risky, quote unquote. And, I think in a lot of cases, if you don't have a really good research model, then absolutely, I would say it is. But with ourselves, we've spent a lot of time really honing how we research on Amazon. And our whole idea that we sum it up, we call it the iceberg method, whereby you obviously imagine an iceberg, and a good quantity of iceberg is above the surface and a lot of it is beneath the surface. So most people in the Amazon space are focusing on the tip of the iceberg products, really competitive. They sell absolutely like tons every day. Like the scale is off the chart of how many of those products would sell, but so too is the competition. And a lot of people, if you go on to YouTube or other platforms, they're teaching, you should sell those type of products, and then, do Facebook ads, YouTube ads, do all this complicated stuff. And eventually you might just rank at the top on Amazon and sell tens of thousands, which again, that doesn't interest us.
80-20 rule, if you're competing with the last 20%, it's going to be much more difficult to get to the top, right?
I love that. Absolutely. Yeah. I've never said it that way before, but I agree. And then, I suppose then equally, then you have the middle of the iceberg that connects the top to the water, and it's just the middle part, and that feels better. So some people are like, these are more niche down items. You're better off selling these. But again, you're getting into things like pet carriers and stuff like that feel less competitive, but they're still really competitive. So we really focus on beneath the surface products, items that sell not that many a day. They sell in multiple countries at the same time. And we try to look at what we call a rule of 5, which is just a framework, but it gives you a context for what we try to do. And we do, which is we take 5 products, in there. We sell them in 5 Amazon markets at the exact same time. We would sell an average of 5 units per product per day at an average of $5 net profit every time we make a sale. So when you go 5 by 5 by 5 by 5 over a 30-day period of time, you're at $18,750 net profit before tax. Obviously, everyone gets at the calculator at that point. This can't be possible. It's only 5 products. But the idea is you multiply the markets that you're operating in, and you're selling things that make a small number of sales per day. You can build a really nice lifestyle business doing that. And we have countless clients now who we've documented their case study. We've even documented some people's journey from scratch and seen them build up their business selling these weird, boring, everyday
things that people buy all the time.
Yeah, like exactly. Just some examples, because everybody wants examples. A seed box for holding seeds in it. You're getting into cedar hangers for you hang them in your wardrobe to make your wardrobe fresher. Vacuum storage bags, although we wouldn't sell those anymore, too competitive. These are all types of things we're talking about. I'm not saying you should sell those. And they're very different to selling yoga mats, which are just so competitive, bento boxes, so competitive, like just don't do it. And so, that's our whole methodology.
So the research is really the key point that you're focusing in on, is research the niche that is the 5x5x5 model, and it fits into that model. And you don't have to love the stuff that you have. You just need to love the process of selling the stuff you have.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 100%. That's exactly how we feel. I'm not a customer for any of the products I sell, but the products we sell are really good quality. Although I've become a customer of one of our products. We started doing these nice guitar stands. So I do play a little bit of guitar, and so they're quite nice. But yeah, like, I mean, 100%, you know, it's just there's already demand out there. You know it because you see it on Amazon.
Yeah.
We have a methodology where we review the market by looking at the bestseller ranks of the items that are available, and we make decisions based upon that, you know.
I have some friends that have sold on Amazon, done very well in different times. And one of the things that the downside of selling with Amazon, because of the competitiveness, and there's also the piece that occasionally Amazon will dictate what you can and cannot sell. And I've had friends where they're, you know, in the nutrition business, their stuff has just been shut off all of a sudden. You know, you got emails saying, hey, this doesn't comply with our rules and regulations, and it seems like a moving target. So how do you approach or think about that when you're coaching your clients and your students?
So I hear a lot of these things all the time, and then we usually hear things like, well, Amazon sell products that are doing well and all this kind of stuff. They're all not necessarily myths, because they do happen, but it's always the problem when, like, in nutritional products, for example, they will sell tons. Like, I mean, I have a good friend, Ryan, runs a hair care business, and they sell absolutely so much on Amazon. But again, he has the same issue as your other friends have, because these are, let's say, more regulated industries. There's more chance of somebody getting injured or sick or whatever it is because you've ingested a product or put it on your skin or whatever the case may be. So we call those things ISTAs, item specifics to avoid. We tend to avoid things that are powered. We avoid things that have sharp edges, that are breakable. We avoid ingestibles. We avoid all the items that.
So there are rules to follow before
you
think about it.
Yeah, like we 15 istas, so we avoid a lot of products. And so the items that we like, you know, again, I'm not saying you should go and sell this to anybody, but it's just an example. It would be like, I was doing a YouTube video recently. I was researching thread racks, so wooden thread racks, little things you put pieces of thread on. Again, I'm not a customer. I would not be a thread rack customer. But then I saw, tons of wooden ones, and then I see, there's a really interesting market for steel thread racks. So, like, that's interesting. It's not going to damage anybody. It's not going to sell hundreds a day. It's also not going to be something that people are making amazing YouTube videos about. They're so excited and passionate about the thread rack, you know. So it's kind of like, they're the items that we're going after, and we're happy to say that, you know. And I think because we look at these types of items, they fly under the radar in many cases,
and they're always being purchased. And they're always being purchased.
Always, and they always will be. You know, they're just sustainable. They're sustainable products. You know, whereas again, health products, you might have a massive craze on keto.
You're just below the surface. Just below the surface. I love that. I in fact, I'll have to share this video with this show with Marcia. She's somebody that is in the business. She got shut down from Amazon because of claims, you know, and she's got a product, Stay Well, that is microbial copper. Copper is a natural deterrent to germs and bacteria. And she actually went to the government, the US here, and got certified, and did all the paperwork and all the pre-work and everything else to get all of the information certified that she can make the claim that she was making.
Yeah.
And she went to the attorneys, and I think she's really close to getting that launched. And that's going to give her, I feel, a competitive advantage, because she has the certification. She can make the claim, she can sell her product, and it was doing well on Amazon until they shut her down. And So that's an example of one of those things that you have to actually comply. You actually have to identify that you can prove the claims that you're making.
Of
And
course.
so it's good and bad because, you know, the players out there that are trying to scam people are getting identified and getting pushed
Yeah.
off the platform. And the people that are doing good work and helping a lot of people like yourself are still on there doing good stuff. So, you know,
Yeah,
drip
but
spilled buckets. Drip
yeah.
spilled buckets. So
Yeah. And I think it's a great example of your friend you're mentioning, because again, with Amazon, I'm sure she already went through the process, but when she gets back on, you can be brand registered on Amazon now. And that's again a big difference. Like years ago, you could just throw a product up on Amazon and sell it, you know, and it could be in a white box and it wouldn't really matter. And those days are over now, which I think is a good thing, like you just said. I'm not saying that lady, by the way, was doing that, but it's more what the whole point I was making was Amazon's very professionalizing itself now. You know, you can't just be a, well, we have a character over here in Ireland and the UK, and he was on a TV show called Only Fools and Horses, right? You probably haven't heard of that show in the US before, but he's a guy called Del Boy. So he's this character from London, and he would just be like so dodgy. Like he'd sell you things and he'd tell you it's amazing, and then you get it and it would break quickly and stuff like that. So kind of like that was the old, like maybe the used car salesman would be a better example in the US, right? Just dodgy, you can't fully trust them. That's kind of like how Amazon used to be, and all the different marketplaces used to be in the past, you know, whereas now it's completely different. You have to trademark your brand, get it registered, take it seriously, because it's a real business. Like, you know, I mean, Amazon is it's $1 trillion company. Like, you know, and people approach, I think, sometimes online businesses, I'm sure you see, like, you know, oh, I can start that for $200 and a bag of chips, like, you know, where it's like, no. It's a real business, like any traditional business out there, you know, it's better than those businesses too, you know?
Yeah. Well, and especially in this particular climate, I'm sure that your business has grown considerably
Yes.
and expanded because of the constraints that we're going through right now.
Yes.
And it's kind of a mental game, if you will, to kind of change and shift your focus and attention and things like that. And a lot of people are starting to think about that. So, which brings me to another element that you're starting to introduce to this business you have going on is the mentalist approach to
that's my fun bit. That's my fun bit, because it's funny. I've been interested in magic and things like that for years, and a lot of my audience don't know that. You know, I've never really been a big performer of it, but I do webinars, I do things like this all the time, so I'm always performing in some way. And so like a couple of years ago, I got really interested in it, and I thought it'd be cool to incorporate some of that into just what I do for fun. And you know, I'll probably do some things out and about, you know, for myself. But yeah, it's something I'm incorporating. We're building a little show at the moment, which is in development, where we're getting people, like, we have a whole thing about like the worst Shark Tank ever, and people have come up with terrible business ideas, and I have to try to figure out what business ideas they're coming up with. And we have other things like, you know, you have to these little game at the start where I name a couple of different products, and you have to like pick the product, and I predicted you were going to pick a certain one. So yeah, it's fun. You know, I just trying to, you know, even in our own business, we look to innovate a lot on what we do. But that's one thing for me personally that I'm really excited about, because I think it's a cool thing that you can bring things you're interested in as extensions of what you do. And I think that's really powerful. You know, I think that's valid and powerful, you know?
Well, I think it's fascinating because obviously, you know, you have a business that is running, you know, you're doing well, you're helping a lot of people understand and appreciate what it takes to do the work. And it's work, you know, let's not fool this. This is not a get rich quick thing. This is not an overnight success. You know, here, I'll pay you 20 and I'll get 100 back. You know, this is not the case with Amazon. This is not the case with most businesses, legitimate businesses. However, you could still have fun with it. You could still enjoy and appreciate 100%. Some of the things that you're doing and bring your interests into the business. And I love that you're doing that, Steven. So
exactly.
Keep us posted when you're now that you're a pirate, you can always come back. So when you get that ready, come back and do a show for us. So
no problem. I will definitely do that.
Yeah,
I will 100%
do that.
I think people enjoy that. It's a lot of fun, and it might just blow a couple of people's minds as well, which I think is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I saw there was a TikTok video going around with Harrison Ford and David Blaine. I think that.
Oh yeah, with the lemon. I think he has
The card and the lemon. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great trick. A lot of stuff I do, like, it's kind of cool because they're not really tricks like that. They're more, it's just different. Like, it's more just all to do with how you think about things, and sometimes it can literally just be like we're battling each other from a psychological point of view, and sometimes it is just a full-on trick, but the idea is that it doesn't look like that, and it's it's just I never thought I would do that, but a friend of mine, Paul, he's a professional in that area in the UK, and he really encouraged me to go down that line. He's like, because another part of my whole thing is motivation, and I'm sure you bring a lot of that to your community as well, and helping people understand what's possible and all of that. So that's another part of the show that I'm developing as well, like that there's a motivational component and inspirational component, because I thought getting into this whole thing, I'm teaching people to sell on Amazon, but in many ways actually but you're actually more so becoming almost like someone who's just inspiring other people and that type of thing,
Well, it's the way I look at it is I've spent years learning a lot of things, and it's great when you can actually share it with some other people and encourage other people to do something that it inspires themselves.
Absolutely.
Themselves. So
absolutely,
I love that. So I want to ask you before we take off today so what got you into Amazon first? I mean, what was the trigger? What was the event that you woke up one day and you said, I think I'll do Amazon?
Yeah.
What were you doing before that? And what was the trigger that started you on this path?
Yeah, so before I got into all this, I was playing music, actually. I was playing semi-professionally here in Ireland as a teenager.
Okay.
And I was looking to get...
as well, so.
Yes, very good. I have a singer, and I was the rhythm guitar player in a band, and I thought that's what I was going to do with myself. This is, a long time ago now. And of course, the band broke up. We were in our late teens, and I really thought that's what I was going to do with my life. I was convinced. I was like, this is
that's
it
the
now.
Thing you wanted to do.
Yeah, I just loved it. My parents weren't too happy about that, but that's how it was. But anyway, I went down that road for a number of years, and we got close to doing something, but we just, we weren't passionate enough about it, and that's something I didn't know back then. I thought I was, but I really wasn't. When I really learned this lesson shortly after the band broke up, I was sending my songs to the US, actually, to a number of different song critiquing agencies where they'll tell you how good it is, bad it is, whatever. So a guy wrote back to me and he said, you're like an 8 out of 10 for commercial viability, which is pretty good. But he's like, but to be honest with you, in order to become a professional in this area, you've got to be a 9.5. And he's like, I'm not saying you can never get there, because you absolutely can get there. But he's like, it could take you 2 years. It could take you 15 years. There's no way of knowing. And I remember just when I read that, I was like, I don't think I could do 15 years working in a job, let's just say, that I didn't like. I was a data processor at the time, so I was just typing information from a form into a computer all day. I was like, I can't do this for 15 years. It just wouldn't be for me. Yeah. So I have been studying business in college, and I never finished college now. But I was becoming very passionate about business theory, and I became really like well-read on business theory, but not in practice. I had no practical experience at all. And so then really I started dabbling with, how to start an online business, Googling that, going down into all the rabbit holes I'm sure a lot of listeners have gone down. And then I just was like,
lots of training.
It's all a scam. Everything's a scam. I'm done with this. And then I just thought, well, what's something I feel is not weird and I can get involved in, and it makes sense to me. And just selling products on the internet just felt like, well, I don't have to be an expert. I don't have to share this opportunity with somebody, right? And all those things. I thought I can do that. And so I started telling everybody that's what I'm going to do. And my aunt from Northern Ireland luckily contacted me. I didn't really speak to her very often, wouldn't have seen her too much. She's like, this guy Robert, he's doing it. He's selling stuff on eBay and Amazon. He's got 2 warehouses. He's got staff. You got to meet this guy. And I went to meet this fella, and he's 6'2", big Irish guy, big beard, drinks beer. And I was like, okay, this is my mentor. Interesting. I'd never thought this would be it. But Robert, I saw his warehouse and it was cold and it was like rats running around the place. But I was like, this is great. This is what I want to do. I want to go all in. So I quit my job. I moved in with my aunt in her spare room. And I just immersed myself. I worked it for 9 months with Robert in the warehouse for free, learned everything I could learn about the practical side of the business. And then we really became great friends. And then we decided to restart the business, get rid of everything, get rid of everybody, get rid of just everything and start again because his business was really on the downward decline at the time because he was just stuck in the consumer electronics accessories market. And we thought we could just sell anything. And that's where really the methodology was born. And then within 2 years, we rebuilt that company. And, here we are today.
Awesome. I want before we drop off, I want to give a shout out to some of the people here that are in the room. Angie, love you. You're always here supporting. Maureen, Wixom, hi, Russ. Wendy says, we love it when the Admiral invites a pirate on the ship who has a cool accent and a great depth of knowledge in practical areas of business. Welcome, Stephen. You just joined the coolest posse in the open seas.
I believe that, I believe that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That's true. Mary says, good morning. Kenneth says, Russ John, savor the flavor of awesomeness in your sir. Rachel Clancy.
Oh, we know Rachel.
Hello. Kenneth Dunner, there's more. There's a fool show in the UK. There's a cool show, a fool show in the. He's probably talking about the guy you were mentioning. So
yeah, he's never talking about Del Boy, that's for sure.
Yeah, Ken, don't include fool in your product names. Sherry Liz said, moving your products takes time and focus. Absolutely, positively. Sounds like you need to grab Mike Winnett for your funny game show. Yes. Kenneth says, another guitar player, saving the flavor. Another awesome, sir, for sharing this with us. Absolutely. Russ Hedge, and from Oregon, good morning. I actually started a program. It's actually been 36 days because I was a musician. I played professionally for years, and I was a drummer. And then I took a fall and broke my arm. And I came back. I was playing electronic music because I got into technology and I wanted to learn how to play, create music. And so now I've been creating a track a day for the last 36 days. So I just, it's all my iPad and it's all iOS based. And so I just create this and put it out to the world, just to practice.
That's it though.
A few things, then I practice and then put it out there.
That's right. I think that's the big thing though, isn't it? It's like a lot of people
take action.
Yeah, people talk about doing that, one day I'll do my electronic album, right? Or one day I'll do, and I was like that. Before I got into business, I met Robert. I was like, one day I'm going to do a business or whatever. And I never did anything. And then Robert, I remember he sat me down. He's like, start ugly. Let's get a spreadsheet out. Let's get a Google Doc out and start coming up with it. And then we go and do it. And now people that know me are like, Stephen, he's a big implementer, and I wasn't. And I think that's the thing, like, you just go and do it, and then you tell people you're doing it, and that keeps you accountable.
You don't have to know the answer before you start.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Stephen, it's a pleasure having you on the show. I would love to have you come back when you have your mentalist.
I'll come back and do my show. I think I can do all of it online. I'll have to figure that out. Usually I do it with people, but I think I can do most of it online. So we'll work that out. See how I can do it online for everybody, and we'll come back and do a show. Definitely, I'd love to do that.
The offer's open.
Thank you.
Love to stay in touch. And also, how do people get a hold of you? How's the best way that people get a hold of you?
Yep. So you can go to marketplacesuperheroes.com, HEROES as well. A lot of people misspell heroes. I probably would have as well. I realize it's the longest domain name in the world, so I do apologize. You can go to YouTube as well. We put out 2 videos a week there of really high value content. Type in Marketplace Superheroes. We'd love to have you on the channel watching. Love to have you subscribe. That'd be awesome. And if you actually go to marketplacesuperheroes.com/gift, you probably won't type all that in because it's too long. But if you do type all that in, you'll be treated to 7 days of great content, just teaching you how the business model works and everything in between. It's all free, no charge. And look, that's it. So I really enjoyed my time here. You're a great person, Russ. I can tell you just are the right type of guy that I like. I like chatting to people like you. You're easygoing, but you get it, and I think that's really great.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that, and we do this show 5 days a week, and just love introducing people like yourself to the community. So, welcome to the pirate community, because kindness is cool, smiles are free. And
Love that.
Enjoy the day. Take care of you. See, Stephen, be in touch.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining the Pirate Broadcast. If you found this content valuable, please like, comment, and share it across your social media channels. I would love the opportunity to help others grow in their business. The Pirate Syndicate is a platform where you show up, we produce the show. It's that easy. If you want to be seen, be heard, and be talked about, join the Pirate Syndicate today.